could be weird. So Carl, welcome to FrightFest. You're here representing the Mutilator 2. What was your first experience with the Mutilator?
Embarrassingly, I didn't know anything about it until Mr. Cooper told me about it, and I rented it, and I'm like, how did I not see this? It was called Fall Break at one point. Fall Break, yes. And I remember the videotape in a video store. I'm old. Okay, back in the 1990s or 1980s. It was released, I believe, on Vestron Video, and had the girl in the bikini and the people on the door on the video itself. It's actually the original art, I believe, on the poster. And I'm like, oh, I remember that movie. It's the guy with the thing and underneath the thing and underneath the, yeah. And I'm saying this to the director, and he's looking at me like, how do I end this call real quick? We're on the video call. So then he told me what character I was playing. So I auditioned for something else, and they said, no, I want you to play this guy. And he told me what the guy did and what happens to him. And after I left for about 10 to 15 minutes, I'm like, I got to do it. It's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. So, yeah, that's how I got into Mutilator Part 2.
And I mean, you hear of long spaces between films, but 40 years between films, and for the same director to be making that's pretty special, right?
It has to be, because he was obviously waiting for the sequel. Well, I mean, movies take a long time to make anyway. Yes, 40 years is extreme, but I mean, there's a lot of is it called legacy sequels now that are coming out? And I mean, granted, he had to wait for some financial stuff, and he had to get the right cast, he had to get the right everything for it to happen. I think it's right in that vein of like recognizable 80s slashers, where we had weird stuff going on and funny stuff going on, to now as like requels or like I said, legacy sequels. So yeah, so I think it fits right in there, and it's a good. Actually, it's got like 80 different genres. It's everything.
And there's a lot of practical effects in this film, and I know that Jen and Sylvia Soska were the minds behind one of the kills. What is it like getting to play in the playground with actual physical prosthetics and all that stuff?
All right, so not to give away too much, honestly, for me, it felt like there was like 4 movies going on. There was a horror movie, and there was the movie I was in. Like, I was not in the horror stuff, but I did, lean on a body once. And I'm like, oh my God, what's that? And the effects are amazing. Joe Castro did the effects, and you guys are going to love it. The Soska sisters make a very, 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 very funny and awesome kill. It's going to be amazing. And there's going to be a lot of screams when that happens. Guaranteed. From me.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Go and enjoy the screening.
Thank you.
So, Buddy, welcome to FrightFest. We are here talking about the Mutilator 2. 40 years ago, did you ever think that you would be back with the sequel?
You have consonants in there. FrightFest 2024.
I'm about to cry. Right. 40 years ago, yeah, we were hoping for a sequel. We were making up stories while we were still shooting the original. With the last day of shooting was a scene in a hospital room with an armoire in the room, and we were saying, yeah, Big Ed can step out of the armoire, but we were just joking. I always wanted to make the sequels. Everybody connected with the movie wanted to make the sequel. Just different things kept getting in the way until a couple of years ago, the ice broke and I was able to do it. So, there. Did I want to? Yeah. Did I get it done? Well, we'll find out later tonight.
And one of the things that I really love about this is the hook that the story has, if you forgive the pun, of it being a film within a film. Was that, how did that idea come about?
It just popped up. I knew that I wanted to make a sequel, and I kind of knew what it was going to be like. But I also wanted to invite some of the cast of the original Mutilator to come back, because they've stayed in touch with each other, and we've been friends through the years. And somehow that idea just came to me. I didn't find it anywhere; it just popped up, and I was glad. It was good. It worked.
And I think one of the main differences is the Mutilator 2 is a lot gorier. Do you find that the audience's appetites have changed over the years?
The music, you said?
The audience, do you think that they've changed their opinions? Because there's a lot of gore in this one, is it? Yeah, like back in the day, was it kind of harder to get things pushed through, and now it was quite easy?
I'm not really qualified to answer that question, but I have heard people say that the Mutilator opened the door a bit to more gore in movies than had been there before. And there's been a lot of gore since then. In fact, when we were making the Mutilator, the cast and crew began calling me Bloody Buddy because we were pouring movie blood everywhere. I don't know if they like gore more or not. The fans that I've talked to like and have requested practical effects as opposed to CGI, and that's what this movie is about.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say there's some eye-watering practical effects in this film.
There's some good ones. There's some good ones. I forgot what I was going to say.
And I think as well, I'm right in saying that you had help for at least one of the kills. I think the Soska sisters had a hand in writing one of the kills.
How did what?
Jen and Sylvia Soska.
Oh yes, there's the Soska sisters, the Twisted Twins. They suggested a kill, and we incorporated it into the movie, and it's a really good one. It takes place on the beach. That's the one to watch for. That's the Soska kill.
Well, I'm going to thank you for your time and let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, Kat. See you.